It's a pretty good movie. I think it's a pretty good movie.
Him and Colin Farrell have a meeting, and he's like, all right, blah, 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 blah. And Colin Farrell's like, no worries. And then they walk apart and he cut! No one caught that? Was everyone editing this movie with headphones off? Tequila! I don't want to be pulled up.
GMat.
Is there anything for dessert or something?
Oh, Mario!
Oh my God!
Woo.
Hometown Spider-Man.
Yay. I need help with doing a push-up.
This is still going?
Yep.
General buzz to infinity and a bit more.
And a bit more. Not much further. How can you go beyond infinity? That's a dumb expression, right? I only just thought of that right now.
Well, I think he's saying, like, push it beyond the limits. You know, we'll go to the limits and beyond.
He's the Lightning McQueen of space travel.
Ka-chow!
Kachiga.
What's
Ka-chow is Lightning McQueen, isn't it?
who says Kachiga?
The not the blue guy, the green?
Do you mean Rusty?
No, not Rusty. The guy he races at the start. He's in
Lightning McGreen.
Shut up. Shut up.
Soylent McQueen. The guy he's racing for the sponsorship at the start. That there's a whole
The fact that you think I've seen Cars a lot to know
Cars
what
is
happens.
a fucking dope.
I think I've
it.
seen Cars 20 times.
Yeah,
What?
it's really good.
And
It's
you and I are
really,
the
really
same-
watchable.
we're the same age. Didn't you have to watch it all the time at school?
No. Same age, same income.
School to keep. So everyone, shut up. We're watching
No,
Cars. Is this going to be on the Year 12 exam though? Yeah,
We
well,
watched Gattaca.
I remember a friend of mine, sorry, just a sidebar, a girlfriend of mine, not a girlfriend, a friend who's a girl, who's also a teacher, said she put on a movie because she got railed the night before. She was like, I was getting fucking railed by this guy. And the next day I just felt crap. So I put a movie on. I was like, how many times did Mrs. blah, blah, blah do that? Anyway, so we watched Cars a lot.
I was getting railed.
Just railed. And it kept me, I was up all night getting railed. And so I was tired the next day.
Do you think at
guys,
some
this
point...
dude was fucking the shit out of me yesterday, so we're going to watch a movie.
Can I ask
Bring it up with the kids.
a question to you? Do you think there's a point if you're banging and you're just like, this is just like, is there a time limit? Do you set, or are you like happy to go for like 4 hours of just banging?
Well, I can just come when I want to.
Is that true? You can just not come and then come when you want to?
Yes. I mean, I can't just go bah and happen, but I could be like, okay, I'm going to come soon and build myself up to it.
Wow.
It's not a time limit, but if you're like, I feel like I'm not going to be able to do my job tomorrow, you probably want to reassess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'd happily just fuck for 6 hours if it didn't impede
No,
your
I wouldn't
job.
happily do that, no.
But this is what Ben said, if it
But
didn't
if the
impede on
boss
his
says-
job. If it didn't impede on his job the next day,
Ellie,
you
come
just
on.
fuck for 6 hours? Like, who is this woman?
I don't know.
She's just sitting there just fucking
Just a real tank.
taking it and taking
Absolute tank.
it. Wild to me.
Just a vag tank.
I feel like I have a time limit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
3
like
or 4 minutes. No, I reckon I have a time limit. And I think
from
that time
the
limit's
door
like-
locking.
Yeah, like from, hi, how are you?
Not from entry.
No.
To infinity and beyond.
What
To
movie did she
infinity.
put on? Was it like comfort food?
That was
Like
Cars.
she just
It was
needed.
Cars.
I was Cars.
Oh,
wasn't
it's probably Cars. I can't say that for sure.
it was probably
I
Cars.
can't remember.
How you spelling
Odds are
comfort?
it was Cars. There's 50% likelihood it was Cars and 50% likelihood it was any other movie ever made.
Cars, Shrek.
Really?
Shrek a lot.
Shrek a lot? I've only seen Shrek 1, 2, and 3.
See, that would be a funny joke, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was a movie called Shrek a lot.
The third one's really bad. I only watched it recently.
But then there's Shrek Forever After.
Which
We're
is
going off
even
on
worse.
tangents.
You
No,
haven't
I
seen
really like
Cars.
that one. That's the one with Rumpelstiltskin.
I've seen Cars.
You have seen Cars.
Yeah, I've seen Cars, but I've seen Cars like twice. You know, to the point where I can remember vaguely that there's a car in a garage that
That makes
somebody-
you only saw Cars for the first time yesterday, didn't you? And so you've watched it two times, 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
That was the
No.
first when I got a 1080p HD TV.
That's the first thing you put on?
I got a Blu-ray of Cars because it was just there. It was cheap. So I got Cars.
Oh, watch an
and I put it
animation.
on, and it was so just
You watched
slick.
an
I bet it looked
animation.
great.
Of course, because there's no film or anything, so
And
it's like
it
it's
can
just
go up
so
to like
slick.
the frame rate looks crazy good on
Yeah.
animated films.
You're not
And
just
it's-
getting like a David Attenborough or something.
Well, no,
That's
I
what I
don't know
do
whether
every time I
there was
get
that
a new-
that was that good back then. And also, like, the camera, you've got the film and then the grading and all that. Whereas animation, it's like right there.
That's true.
There's no removal from.
Oh, that's very funny.
And it was just it was like, these cars are fucking shiny. This is the shiniest thing I've ever seen.
They're pretty good. Ka-chow.
And I was like, this might be the best movie.
John C. Reilly voiced the other one, the Kachiga, because I hear it in his voice.
You're talking Rusty, aren't you talking Rusty?
No, Rusty's the friend, right?
Yeah.
That's Mater.
Mater.
Oh, that's Mater.
Seen it 20 times, he reckons.
I haven't
No.
seen it twice.
I'm saying I knew who it was.
Who's the guy that is the
The
old Lightning McQueen? Is in the garage.
The
He's
big
like,
the
actor?
Daytona car. Daytona.
No,
What do you
Doc.
mean, Hudson?
Doc.
Doc Hudson. He's like, I can't come out. Like, you can do it. And then he's racing, and then they see him. He's like, I'll do it for you, Doc.
Paul
Teaching the
Newman.
Scandinavian flick.
Who's
what a good movie.
like,
How many
voice for
Oscars did that win?
Lightning?
Larry the Cable Guy was Mater. I didn't know that.
Of course it was.
Who was the bad guy?
Larry the Cable Guy.
Yeah.
Why do I not know who that is?
If you only got 3 wheels, you might be a tow truck.
Yeah.
Tony Shalhoub played Luigi.
Tony
Oh.
Shalhoub from Monk.
Yes,
Is that him?
That's right. Yes.
Okay.
And musical recently. It won Tony's.
You win some, you shaloub some.
I wish I could shalhoub for
Fuck
as long
you.
as I want, but you guys seem to be shaloubing masters, and I'm over here only shaloubing for like 2 hours max.
It's because you didn't watch Cars.
Is it really? You think I can't shaloub for that long because I'm not watching Cars?
They've done studies.
Are you saying Cars should be on the background?
The Cars should be on the background at JB Hi-Fi. They should be putting it
No,
on
no,
the
no.
screen.
I'm talking when you're shaloubing.
Get real
Oh,
gone.
are we back to that now?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I tell that story should I tell that story I told you yesterday where I said it reminded me of Ben? Where
Can
Ben's
we
the
do an
F-
intro and actually do a podcast?
Oh,
and
yeah,
tell me
yeah,
during
yeah.
the podcast because
but you always say that you ruin the flow, and then we're always flowless. You know that? Do you know that about that?
what?
That this
You're gonna
bothers
have to
me,
explain
This
it.
bothers me every time because we sit here and we. This is essentially all the podcast will ever be.
True, but we got to do the intro at some point. Otherwise, we're going to get to the end and do
But
the
what
intro.
if we do the
I
intro
love
at
it when
the
the-
end,
one
and then
time-
it's good?
All right, well,
Our
keep going
record
then.
is like 35 minutes to
Really?
the intro coming like 35 minutes in.
You ever
if
do
we
that
did-
when you watch a movie sometimes and you're just like, you're in the movie and then something will happen and the title will come and you're like, what?
It's
This is
Hateful
fucking
Eight.
ages
Have
in.
you been
Yeah.
have you been watching Stranger Things? They do that all the time.
Really?
Yeah, I was sitting there and they goes, "Lulu, lulu, lulu, lulu." I'm like, oh, that's right.
I was
It's
watching
just
the
started.
IT Crowd yesterday for the first time against my will. Didn't really like it. And 30 minutes into the episode, it said the IT Crowd. It's like, oh my God, kill me.
How do you say that show, sorry?
The IT Crowd.
The IT crowd.
There, you think it's...
It definitely is the IT Crowd. It's not the IT Crowd. Get away from me.
Isn't it?
No, it's the It CROWD.
Ah, it's the IT CROWD. The IT CROWD.
I feel like I just had a stroke. It's like the IT crowd doesn't even sound like a word anymore. IT crowd. Yeah. No, yeah. That's silliness.
IT freely... What?
So this story.
What's the story?
The
Just
story
give me
where
the
I said
book.
Ben
Wait.
reminded me of FDR and I was Churchill.
Oh, yeah.
tell the story. Go on, you were here.
Tell
We've
the
gone
story,
this
but
far.
tell the story.
So the reason I pitched it to Aidan was because I learnt this story the other day listening
it.
to a podcast.
Really?
He
Is this
just
something that I
told
could
us to-
say out loud to other people?
Yeah, because he did, and it bombed, apparently.
Yeah, I did it in
Oh,
the stream. I was
no.
like, oh, I remember hearing it because something came
Yeah,
up
better
that
bring it to
reminded
the
me of that.
podcast. eh?
Yeah.
Where I said it in the stream, and people were like, that was a fucking boring story. And I was like, oh. I thought it was interesting when I heard it.
Yeah.
And I said, the reason I thought it was interesting is because you remind me of FDR, and I reminded of me being Churchill.
He
much
doesn't
do
have
you
any
know
of the
about
context
FDR
yet. He doesn't
and
know any of the
Churchill?
context
Nothing,
yet.
not that much.
You just say he reminds you of
Alright,
FDR.
So it's World War II.
Does that mean I'm Stalin?
No, I don't think so.
Sick.
Hitler.
It's World War II. FDR and Churchill trying to get Stalin and Russia to join Allied forces. Blah blah blah.
Blah, blah,
The
blah.
Yalta Conference.
That was you said the thing. I was like, what was it called? And you said- Anyways, so FDR and Churchill need to go into this meeting with Stalin.
Where did you hear this?
On a podcast.
This is the truth.
Just a podcast. No, I know about the Alta, but it's great for your gut bacteria. Where did you...
That's a Yakult joke.
We've got to stop doing those. I think we've reached peak saturation on... Every week it's a fucking Yakult joke.
So Churchill,
Okay.
me, is talking to
In this
FDR,
story.
Ben.
Yeah.
And Churchill's saying, all right, we got to plan this meeting, all right? Because when we go in, we don't want to fuck this up. We really need them to join us or we're fucked. And then FDR's like, don't worry about it. It's fine. We'll just wing it. And they get later in the day, and Churchill's like, no, seriously, what are we going to do? We're going to good cop, bad cop. We're going to triangulate. Like, how are we going to assess this meeting? He's like, just relax. We'll get in there. We'll work it out.
This is verbatim.
This is exactly what they said. Good cop, bad cop, etc. And they get in the meeting, and FDR's like, hey, Joseph, look at Churchill. Look at what a fat little fucking ugly little fat loser Churchill is. What a weird looking fat little man. That weird looking fucking and Stalin's like, ah, ha, 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 ha. And then in the end of the meeting, he's like, so you would join us? And he's like, yes, I'll join. And then obviously Churchill's all pissy, but that was just the idea that FDR had. He's like, I'm just going to roast Churchill, and that'll make Stalin like us.
We will fight them on the beaches, maybe, if they stop being nice to us.
And that story made me laugh because I put myself in there. I was like, that sounds like something Ben would do in a meeting to like success for everybody. But like,
except for you, long term.
Yeah, but like, this isn't going to work if you know that I'm going to roast you. So I'm just going to
It's
roast you.
hilarious that you and I at a Yalta and we come back. Bex, how did it go?
good.
Yeah, like it worked. I mean, we got it. They're in. Okay, why are you crying so much?
No.
I just, I don't know. Are me and Ben friends? I don't know. Like, he didn't want to go, and then he went, and it happened. Like, they're in now. But I just kind of feel like maybe I want to talk to him again. I don't know. I'm going to go to bed. The end.
That is it.
Thanks so much, guys. Thanks for having me.
So Matt brought that story up by saying, I told this story and it bombed. And I was like, oh, please tell us. And we were at rehearsals and people were like, oh, well, a bit of a joke about it. And I said, you shouldn't tell it like that anymore. You need to think of another way to tell
it backwards. Do it like Christopher Nolan film.
You should say, like, did you know that Stalin only joined the Second World War because Churchill was a fat piece of shit? And then you're like, I'm intrigued. And then you tell the letdown. The story
well, also, you know my friend Ben.
Yeah.
No? Well, this is going to bore you to tears then.
Yeah.
Buckle up for 15 minutes of my insecurities.
I like thinking about people in history being normal.
They
the idea of people in history just being like, hey, look at that fat loser like in front of him, just roasting him to each other.
That's not that normal.
And that's how World War II...
Psychopathic.
Imagine, that's super psychopathic. Are you kidding? Imagine if we sat in here and Ben and I just said, look at that fucking gross sack of shit.
I mean,
I feel like I should take umbrage a little bit with the fact that you think that that's me.
No. See, it's the equivalent of roasting for them. I don't know if he actually said... Look at that fat little loser.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be some sort of... talk amongst yourselves, I'll find it.
Yeah,
I'll
please.
put my history skills to work.
That's just Louis C.K. telling that story.
Exactly.
I saw the same
Was it
podcast,
Louis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Louis always sounds like Louis, and everyone sounds like Louis, and everyone talks like Louis when Louis tells a story.
Yeah.
So he'd be like, I'm talking to my kid, she's like, what the fuck are you fucking doing, you fat piece of shit? Can I have some fucking breakfast? So I get my kids some breakfast, like, here's your breakfast,
Here's your
sweetheart.
fucking soup.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if that was exactly what he said.
Probably not.
That was
also,
the
I don't
retelling.
think Louis is remembering conversations verbatim like that.
Yeah, so that stuck out for me, and I've been thinking about that non-stop.
Non-stop.
I think
Yeah.
we should just stick with Louis' version.
Okay. Oh, is it not good?
No, it's nowhere near. There's nothing like that.
Oh, it's not funny?
No.
Did you say, look at this?
Yeah, like, it was less
Loser.
about Churchill and more about Britain themselves.
Oh, that's great.
Like, ugh, the British need us, huh?
Like this fat fucking
They're right fucking there. How'd you
Go-
fucking lose France?
grease on his chin, this fucking baked bean eating
Cop
twat.
that, you fat fucking piece of shit. And then they both beat him to shit.
Yeah. Good fun. Any story that's got Stalin in it is going to be fun. Know what I mean?
Notoriously. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah.
You would have.
Cars?
Cars.
Yeah, and it's funny you bring it up. I have seen Cars.
Cars
quite a lot.
2 with Josie Belushi. What's his name?
Tony Shalhoub.
Tony Shalhoub.
My friend
Belushi.
My friend got his first blowjob watching Planes. Does that count?
What's planes?
Planes is very similar to Cars, except they're all planes.
Okay.
Cars in the Sky.
Because the Cars of the Sky.
People often say that planes are the cars of the sky.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Do they? I've heard people say cars are the planes of the earth.
I've heard people say cars are the boats of the land.
Ah.
Yeah.
Bob Hawke said plane pilots are just glorified bus drivers.
There you go.
So-
Good old Bob Hawke.
Classic. So
What a
you could say
legend.
planes are just buses of the sky.
What were you saying? Planes. You got to blow
Yeah,
up the
you got to
planes.
think of a blowjob with planes. I just remember that.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, I'm going to go see Planes this week. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay, have fun. You know, like year 11. You're like, what the hell's wrong with you going to see Planes? And then clearly there was nothing wrong.
There was a reason to see planes.
He was seeing Planes, all right.
I think there's something wrong. There's probably a lot of kids in that theater.
I can't imagine there
And he went alone.
It was a
How was the? Can you imagine his mum picking it up from the movie? He's like, "How's the movie? Awesome."
What movie?
What happened?
Planes.
I don't know. I blacked out.
Do you think Tony Shalhoub should do more? What's happened to Tony Shalhoub? When was the last time Tony Shalhoub?
I think Tony Shalhoub does just as much as he wants to. That's
Is that,
the vibe
do you
I get.
reckon? It's like that Comedians in Cars bit with Alec Baldwin. Don't know what's going on with him. And Jerry Seinfeld. Alec Baldwin says to Jerry Seinfeld, he goes, if I had your money, I'd sit in my backyard with a glass of lemonade and have the phone next to me. When the phone rings, I'd pick it up and just say, no. Which I love.
Yeah. Well, he won't be turning down work now.
Baldwin. What's happened with Baldwin? We used to be the prime source of news for Baldwin material.
It's crazy
And
how
we just
that's
dropped
our most viewed thing.
We've moved on to more modern things like Yalta.
The Yalta conference. Yeah. Also, the podcast episode where we mentioned Michael Peterson just was like on day one. I was
Really?
like, this has 3 times as many views as.
Michael Peterson,
Oh, really?
the Staircase Man.
Yeah, maybe we've got to hit the hot topics.
We do got to hit the hot topics.
What's hot topic right now? Stranger Things. Vecna.
Let's just put Vecna in the title.
I think we'll get transcribed into Spotify. We have to just shout names.
Oh.
What's Vecna?
What's Vecna?
Don't.
D&D. I don't know anything about Stranger Things. I just know Vecna's in Stranger Things.
Oh, okay. Because
But
they always take stuff from
Vecna is a D&D baddie.
Okay.
Oh, is that how it works? I knew it, but I didn't know if
They're
it was.
all D&D
I didn't know if it was
baddies.
accurate.
They're all D&D baddies.
Of course, it's accurate.
The
They wouldn't do that.
Demigorgon, I think they made specifically. That was like a homebrew game in the game, and then now it's part of.
They put it in.
Yeah, Wizards of the Coast, which are D&D.
It's like a
made it.
homage.
And the
Yeah,
Mind
but like
Flayer.
Vecna is, and the Mind Flayer is 100% normal.
Bananas. Crazy
D&D.
that. So what can we make the title then? Because Stranger Things just finished. What if it was like Stranger Things season 5 preview or premiere or something? No, that's rude. We can't do that. That's
Rude.
clickbait.
Yeah,
That's clickbait.
yeah.
That's a bit rude.
I fall for clickbait every time.
Yeah. All the
Do
time,
you?
constantly.
It's you. You're the one.
I really do. It's really upsetting to me. Really upsetting.
Aidan, the algorithm, Jonathan.
It's like genuinely, I got upset at myself the other day. I can't even remember what it was, and it was bad. Do you know what also I fall for? The games they advertise on Instagram.
Facebook.
Facebook.
I download them constantly.
Oh, yeah. The one where you fling the razor blade and it's like...
And they never are what they are in
'cause
the
they're
advertisement.
fake ads.
Yeah.
They make a fake game for the ads, and then there's nothing. Right now, I'm playing a game, you just have to mine blocks.
They make
Fake ads.
what for? What? How
So
did they
it's
make
like-
money out of that?
so like-
'Cause you pay for the ads, don't you?
Yeah, so they pay for it, and then you download their game,
Right.
and then you play it for like, I don't know, 3 days, and they make their money somehow because there's an enormous amount of ads in it. Like the ones that I've got now,
So every time you touch the screen, a new ad pops up.
Uh-huh.
Right.
it's wild.
You know what else they do for these ads? The video starts with like, isn't this soothing? And it shows you some like really awesome visual thing, like people cutting sand or something
Yeah.
for 3 seconds. And then it goes to an ad about their game.
Yeah.
And you're like,
What?
oh, I got roped in by this fucking shit.
Yeah, it's really upsetting. And
Yeah.
I play them all the time.
You know, the one I saw where I downloaded a game was a guy was walking up behind his friend with a baseball bat ready to crack him over the head. And he looks over his shoulder and he's on the phone. And then it cuts to a game ad. And I was like, oh, very clever.
That is good.
Because I did want to see that guy get
If
cracked.
those people put their energy into something that didn't fucking suck.
Yeah.
Because the game's always fucking successful.
Yeah. But like the trickery of like just jacking into everyone's dopamine and fucking with their brains to like, we'll get their eyes on this.
It's wild how easily programmed we are.
Oh, yeah.
I am so easily convinced.
Not me.
No?
Nah, I'm
this
untouchable.
guy.
Never fall for any of that
You
shit.
never?
Nah, I see those things, not interested at all. I just chuck the phone down,
Yeah.
have a Coke, chill out.
Yeah.
Coke's horrible.
It's bad for you.
What did I...
Puts his key,
Oh.
has a Coke, says, Google, buy me more Coke.
Yeah.
It's somebody was telling me, my friend used to work at Bunnings, and he said, tip for you. I said, what? And he said, if you ever want to clean a chalkboard, use Coke. I was like, what do you mean? Because way better than anything else. Better than alcohol wipes, better than anything.
Doesn't it make it sticky?
Apparently not.
You clean the Coke off.
True.
You got to wipe it, and then you wipe it again.
And then you just make it more. You just make it another mess that you
But
have
like,
to
you
clean
know
with
when you
something
wipe
else.
a chalkboard and you can kind of see?
Yeah.
That gets rid of the kind of see bit.
I like the idea of it, like it doing nothing, and then them being like, all right, now, and then you have to use shower power to clean the, and shower power does. Anyways, let's start a podcast.
Great.
Woo, GMat.
I'm kidding.
Yay.
Hello and welcome to episode 206 of Oh No, I did it. GMat podcast.
I did the same thing. And we made eye contact. She looked at me and I looked at her and I said, oh, I don't think I know you. She said, oh boy.
Today's Today's episode of the GMat podcast is brought to you by our merch, which is available at teespring.com/stores/therealgmat. Go get yourself a mug. Fuck it. That intro is brought to you by me. We've run out of intros, so please send your intros to contact@therealgmat.tv or submit them in the Discord, and we'll take a look at them there. If you want to support the show, get access to extra stuff, head over to patreon.com/the GMat podcast. There's the post show, and for a small little bit of cash, you can get some extra content and stuff. It's great. You should come over and listen to the music.
We should get bumper stickers.
Bumper sticker?
Or cool stickers. People can put on their skateboards and their drink bottles.
Oh, I'd put it on my...
We can do stickers. We can get the GMat podcast sticker.
Yeah, that's cool. A little square one.
Yeah.
Like one of these.
Yeah.
Sick.
They're cool colours.
Do that.
Yeah, I do like it.
It's
I like
a good
it a lot.
design. It's a good logo.
Hello, everybody.
Looks great on a jumper.
Welcome to the podcast. My name is Matt. I am the host of the GMat podcast. I'm joined across from me by Aidan Jonathan.
Yes.
I'm joined next to me by Benjamin Jabus.
That is who I am.
Thank you for coming. Becca's with us today. She'll be back next week. So I am in control of the buttons, which is why
Hopefully.
there has been no changes so far.
She might be back next week.
She might be.
You should. The confidence, I love it, but you never know what's going to happen week to week.
That's true. I don't know if any of us are going to be back next
This is
week.
exactly right.
The world.
God, imagine if the world ended.
All right, calm down.
Jesus
Fuck, we just
Christ.
started.
How do you think it would end if it would end next week?
Next
Asteroid?
week? Oh, Putin.
It was Putin.
You know what he's like.
Apparently he's losing his mind.
Yeah, well, I heard that rumor a while back, and I'm like, it's easy to say.
That's true, but like, also, did you see? This has got me. It's
gonna be a podcast of handbrake turns today. Yep.
Riled
Oh,
me
no,
today.
here we go.
The second you said
Aiden so boxy,
my
salty.
My pecs have gotten harder like Putin. Come on.
Yeah, no. So Sky News is Australia
Yes.
is trying to roast Albanese for being in Ukraine.
Oh yeah, I saw that today.
You see that shit? Because there's floods in New South Wales. So like and Albanese's out playing with his girlfriend.
It's ScoMo all over
Oh,
again.
yeah.
He's holidaying on the
You
beaches of
understand-
Ukraine.
Yeah, they understand the uproar the left would have had if this was Scott Morrison. It's like, fuck.
He's having margaritas in the trenches.
Yeah, he's walking around fucking Kiev.
The state is flooded over here, and he's lounging about, dodging 40mm cannon fire.
yeah. Yeah. He's
saw-
just wearing flak jackets in Kiev. Come on, fuck off.
and I don't want to like object. That's fine. It's-
Flak jackets
okay.
paid
Just
for
try
by
and
the
ignore it.
taxpayer, no doubt.
No less.
I don't want to objectify what is essentially a hero, but the president
Of
of Ukraine was when he was shaking hands with Albanese. Did you see his fucking
He's
arm?
fucking
Jacked.
gorgeous.
Oh my god.
He's also a movie star.
Yeah, I heard that. A comedian, stand-up
was a
comedian.
comedian, yeah.
He's done it all.
Yeah.
But I mean, so did Reagan.
Reagan
Sorry, that's
was
a-
also
That's
Reagan
a
was
stupid,
also- that's
stupid
true.
connection.
Yeah,
Ellie,
yeah, as
come
well.
on, Ellie. Sit on your bottom,
Ellie,
Missy.
come here. Come here. I'll give you pats. Come on up here, darling.
Yeah, crazy. What were we talking about before
So
that?
how do you think the world's going to end?
Oh, yes.
We've had this conversation once before on the podcast, and Matt and I cried at the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know the story?
I remember, I think I listened to that one because I was in Queensland at the time.
Yeah. We cried.
That
'cause
one
it's
was so fucking weird. Like, I'm like, I pretty much know what this podcast is at this point.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll listen to an episode because we were driving from one place to another. It was a long drive. And I was like, let's see what the boys are up to. So it's listenable because I'm not on it. So we put it on. And then you two just fucking, yeah, no. I love you, bro. I love you too,
really
bro.
was.
That's
I was
weird.
like, what the fuck? I leave for 5 minutes
I think
and
we're-
these two turn into blubbering messes.
I think we were both really, really sleepy, and we just created this scenario.
It's like the world is ending right now. We get an alert. It's like you don't have time to go anywhere.
Plus, hadn't we already heard like woo woo in like the sky earlier on, and that's what got us onto the
Yeah,
thought?
because we heard a plane. It was like
Oh,
a
true.
really loud plane. I was like, imagine if that was just a plane crashing, and then
We got into it in the podcast.
we got into the podcast. So, do you think that we would die from like an explosion, or do you think it would be like, or do you think,
What's that? Drowning?
yeah,
Okay.
but like rising water levels, I guess.
Yeah.
Or do you think, God,
Not a lot.
do you think that aliens are real?
Do I think that aliens are
Yeah,
real?
do you think aliens are real?
There's about 8 questions in there before you stop talking.
Are we just off how the world
No,
ends
because
once
what if aliens were the ones that blew us up?
Honestly, it'll probably be an asteroid or something.
You think so?
Or like nukes. I imagine like
So many nukes.
nuclear war just breaking out.
Who's going to aim them at Australia?
It also wasn't
China.
that long ago.
Really?
I've already got them pointed here.
Oh, they don't like us. They do?
Yeah, I was watching something on the news one time.
Oh, that's upset me. That's upset me a lot.
And it was something about
Ellie, for God's sake.
Good thumbnail though. Ellie, on your couch.
basically they were talking to some
catch
minister over in China, and the newscaster was talking about, Australia's nuclear capabilities and that we're not, I can't remember whether we're just not nuclear neutral anymore. We don't have a policy that we're going to be completely out of anything. And then he was saying, well, you can't then say that you're not afforded the luxury of not having nuclear weapons pointed at you by other nations then.
Well, that's frightening.
The guy was like, and so does that mean then, can I just quickly ask you, does that mean that China is pointing nuclear weapons at Australia? And the guy said, you got to use your own brain and do your own research, because he's a Chinese politician, so he doesn't give a fuck what we think. He's like, use your own brain, do your own research, and see what you think.
100%. Yeah. So do you think aliens are real?
You know what else I learned listening to that podcast? Sorry, before
Which
we move
podcast?
off that history podcast.
Oh, yeah.
I did not realize just how recently it was that Hiroshima happened. Like in the terms of like history, it wasn't that long ago.
It was 1945.
That the US bombed Japan and killed
Twice.
and I was like, I mean, we're not that far past that where I can't imagine it.
Twice in like a matter of months or a matter of weeks?
When did you think it happened?
We're so cool.
You thought it was like the 1700s or something.
No, honestly, I thought it was like 1910.
That's not even that much. That's not.
I
even
know,
that,
but I was
that's
hoping it was
110 years
further
ago.
towards that end.
No.
No.
We're not even up to 100 years yet. No.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Also, again, because I know nothing about history, I didn't actually. That's a whole other topic.
What is it?
I was about me not realizing quite how not long ago they abolished slavery,
No.
and I was
Also
like,
pretty
it was like
bad.
the 1500s. not that
That's
far back.
Lincoln's time.
Yeah. Anyways,
Anyway, do you think aliens are real? Do you think aliens are real? And do you think... no, I have several follow-up questions, but please answer that one first.
yes, I think aliens are real.
Okay, Ben?
It's entirely possible.
Okay. Do you think aliens have the capacity to blow us up?
Yes.
Don't know.
What do you imagine? Because I'd like to have a child live in in just a room with no stuff, and then ask them about the concept of aliens. You know what I mean? Because everybody's influenced by movies.
Okay.
Because when I ask you what you think of an alien, you're gonna be influenced by a movie.
When did people start thinking about aliens? Was it when TV and
I
stuff
don't know,
dropped?
but I guess
Roswell.
Yeah. But everybody's idea of aliens comes from the stories we've heard about aliens, right? Because what if aliens come out and they're just big worm people?
They could be
What if
big
they
worm
were
people.
just worms? That would be weird. No arms, no face, one mouth and an anus.
We have one mouth and an anus.
One mouth, one anus.
I don't know how to answer that question, and I'm so tired I can't
You can't even comprehend it.
formulate it into a thought.
What do you think aliens look like?
I don't know. I think they're many different shapes and sizes.
So you think it's like the MCU?
I think there's like little squiggly things that just float around in somewhere that can't do anything, like germs, and then there's maybe things that could fly a spaceship.
God, imagine getting a space germ. I've got, it's just the cold, but it's the space cold and your head explodes or something. You know what I mean?
Space cold.
Oh, yeah.
What if we've got...
Space code.
Did germs come from space?
I don't know.
No.
No. So what was here?
Everything that's here, as far as we know, is from here.
But we know there was the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs.
Uh-huh.
What was on that?
Well, that shit would have burnt up.
But it still hit.
Yeah, bacteria would have burnt up, though.
Right.
Rocks.
Okay.
Also, things don't, like on the moon and that. The moon is...
we sound pretty fucking sciencey, guys.
Like, again, we're
like
not...
on the moon and that.
We're not.
The moon isn't...
All that shit would have burnt up because of the moon and that.
The moon isn't really hospitable for anything. So I can't imagine a comet flying through space is hospitable.
The moon was a part of the Earth. Is that fact or theory?
That is
Or is it a scientific theory?
Let's just make
which
it up.
might as well be fact.
Making everything else up.
God, the one fucking time we really need Beck to look things up.
I think...
All right.
I
What's the
think
moon?
it was...
Depends how you look at it. I think everything, like a lot of that shit was all connected, but it's just blown apart.
Was the moon the Earth?
I think
Maybe
the,
like 4,000 or 5,000 years ago it was, but you know.
The moon is the. Well,
the moon was
Nothing
just
on that, he's concentrating.
Churchill's ego floating away after he got railed by FDR.
That is.
It's
that
part
might
of-
be the loosest callback I've ever heard to anything ever.
Listen,
Carry on.
it doesn't look great.
Doesn't look
It
good.
doesn't look good for my theory. It's not mine. I didn't make it up.
They probably collided at some point.
The giant impact model suggests that at some point in Earth's very early history, probably 1910,
The GIM.
yeah, these two bodies collided. During this massive collision, nearly all of Earth and Thea, what the fuck is
Sounds
Thea?
like my sex tape.
Melted and reformed as one body and part of the new. So they think a long time ago the Earth wasn't the Earth; it was the Earth and Thea, which means auntie, by the way.
Proto-Earth.
Proto-Earth.
Beta. Earth and Beta.
Imagine if there was a whole civilization on Thea. Oh my god! And that's who built the pyramids. And just in the big collision, the pyramids happened to just slide off onto one,
Whoop.
like ripping a tablecloth.
Hoopy
out from
doopy.
one.
That's right. We'll let
Whoops.
those three go. They're
Yeah,
gone.
the pyramids and cave paintings.
There you go.
And I bet, what if they're the shit ones too?
Yeah, they're like, oh,
I heard a thing the other day,
What did
and
you hear?
again, this is that
allegedly
allegedly there's a paleontologist or a historian of some
description.
who's discovered these ruins, which totally fucks up history's perception of when humanity started, because I think it started in like 5,000 BC, and they're like, here, this shows that it started in like 12,000 BC.
Whoa, much older.
And so now historians are like, no,
Really?
because nobody wants to redo the work.
So
Now
if we
I
go
know
into all
that
the
that
textbooks.
sounds like a lie, but I promise
No,
you
that
that's
sounds
true.
pretty. That sounds like people.
Yeah.
People hate working.
Yeah.
They kicked up enough of a stink about doing the whole Elliot Page thing. They're not going to go back and do all of history again.
yeah.
What stink about Elliot Page?
People are just like, oh, changing all the movie credits, blah, blah, blah.
Really? That was a big deal?
Yeah.
Was that really a problem for
It wasn't a
everybody?
huge deal.
I'm watching the Umbrella Academy, and they do it very funnily in that, like, because at the start, because Elliot Page plays in Umbrella Academy, he plays Vanya, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a woman.
Aidan marching through the cancellation minefield.
No, I'm
Here
just
it
trying to
comes.
figure. I couldn't remember his pronouns.
You're
but
doing
obviously
great.
He,
You're doing
it's
great.
he's a he.
And he...
No, I was just trying to remember if he went by he or they.
Even
and
if you made a mistake,
it
you'd be doing great.
Yeah, I don't think Elliot.
I don't think so. I think
if you're
you should
watching
be
it, we know that
fired
you are.
from media.
Anyway, in one episode, they just come downstairs and he's like, "Hey, call me Victor," and they're like, "Oh, okay," and that's it. That's
Yeah,
all they
yeah,
do.
yeah.
I thought it was going to be some big thing,
Like a
but
whole episode on
Nah,
it.
it's literally like I get a haircut.
Here's something that might get me cancelled. So he put up a thing the other day on Twitter where he was like, I'm so happy about my passport photo. And it was just about being like stoked because in his passport photo, he looks like a boy.
Yeah.
And he's stoked that he feels like a man and
Uh-huh.
looks like a man and blah, blah. And he said something. He said something like, he was stoked about it. And I was like, that's a shit fucking
Isn't it
passport
bad
photo.
photo? It was a
shit
He
photo.
looks greasy. His hair looks fucking shitty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
If I got that
he
passport
looks like
photo,
a greasy boy.
exactly. He looks like a greasy boy. And
He's
I'd be
ripped.
like, I'd be fucking fuming.
He's ripped.
Yeah.
Pretty mad about that.
Hard tummy. You know who else has a hard tummy?
Who?
It doesn't matter. Stranger Things, the big fat guy Hop, he's lost a bunch of weight.
Oh, because he played.
basically
Because
had a six-pack.
he played a villain in a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
In Black Widow.
Ooh.
He was like some Russian superhero.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I saw that.
Yeah, what's his name, by the way? Because annoyingly, he's attractive. Not annoyingly.
David Harbour.
Yeah, strangely, he's attractive.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Strangely?
Yeah, because
Strangely Things?
teeth or his mouth or something is weird, but like the rest of him is pretty attractive.
Yeah, and like season 1, he comes out and he's got his fat
guts.
boy boobs and his gut and he's smoking, and Beck was like, oh, fuck. And I was like, okay.
That's really funny.
Yeah, people love him. People think he's a hottie.
Yeah, he's also a good actor.
Yeah, he's great.
What else is David Harbour in?
He did that Frankenstein thing. I think it was like written and
What, the play?
directed by him, where it's like, it's a fun little concept thing where it's like him playing, it's him as himself, I think, doing a documentary about a series his grandfather made that was never really brought to air and failed and whatnot, but it's just him doing,
Oh,
pretending
really?
to be his grandpa, doing like a Frankenstein thing. It's all very low rent
That's cool.
B horror. Yeah, it seemed like a clever little concept.
His house, I want to live in. It's exactly.
Oh, yeah, I
my
watched that
aesthetic.
video too.
It's exactly my aesthetic. It's exactly what I want to be.
What does it do
Oh,
with it?
it's unbelievable.
Just like this New York apartment. It's one of those YouTube shows where they go to celebrities' houses and they show what they've done.
Is there a host? Because I cannot fucking
No,
stand
no,
those
no, no.
shows.
No.
Oh, that's good when they just like do
Just
nice
let
slider
him talk.
shots.
the one
and
that's
he does a
real good.
walkthrough.
Yeah, the one that's
I
real
hate
good.
those
Even the
is-
questions aren't in there. He's obviously answering
I
questions.
think it's
but-
the Vogue 50 questions, or it's Vanity Fair 50 questions.
No, it's
Someone rocks up.
It's the Design magazine. What's the Design magazine called?
In design.
Oh, it could be
It's not the 50 questions thing. It's
because that one's also not bad.
there's a very famous interior design sort of magazine.
David
thing.
Harbour talks about his 50 most iconic rooms.
No, I mean like the people who make the video. It's like
GQ.
designer.
Architectural Digest.
Yes, that's the one. Architectural Digest.
It's
Didn't have
great.
the word
He's got a
design
lot
in
of
it at all.
books.
And he's like, I got these
Yeah, okay.
books. Nah, I don't read these fucking books. He's like,
Does he not?
never read that. Never read that. You know, but I put it
It's
up there.
great.
Yeah, it's funny.
It's great. It's a lot of space, a lot of green, a lot of light.
He's a bit of an everyman.
Yeah, he's
I think you can get behind that.
He's one of those actors where I like where it's like, oh, you just a good actor. You know what I mean? He's like,
No,
not,
you're just
he's
a good
he's
actor.
not like he's not. It doesn't seem to be super loving the fame. Do you know what I mean? You know these people that love the fame.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't look like he loves the fame. Or maybe he does.
But he stays indoors lots.
Like Gene Hackman didn't love the fame, did he?
Gene Hackman. He is good. You know, it's weird you bring him up. Been thinking about Gene Hackman a lot lately.
He's so good, isn't he?
He is good.
French Connection. French Connection.
The French Connection, yeah.
Is that the best one? That's the one where he's a little bit older.
Well, he didn't get famous till he was like 40.
Is that true?
Yeah, because he was like 5th choice or something for French Connection. Friedkin couldn't get anyone who he wanted. So they're just like, fuck it, just go with this guy.
You don't know who Gene Hackman is?
Not the director for French Connection, is he?
Oh.
No, he's in it.
He's in it.
Oh no,
As soon as you see Gene Hackman, you're like, oh, fuck, yeah.
I probably would.
Mississippi
I would.
Burning.
I'm not good with names in general.
The
Mississippi
bad guy
Burning.
from Superman 2
Yep.
from 1980 something.
Yep. What else was he in? A lot.
Hackman.
Yeah. He
He
was in a lot. Prolific.
He's in
Very
a ton
good.
of shit.
Okay, yeah.
Very good. Very noticeable. Quite
Very
good.
noticeable. I'll look him up.
Okay.
What was it? French Connection. What's the no? What's the weird? Who's that weird director that did Grand Budapest Hotel? Will
Oh, Royal Tenenbaums. He's in
Royal
Tenenbaums.
Tenenbaums. He's in, and he was like,
That was a very famous one.
and he was
Saw
like
everywhere.
shit up until that. He like went through the slump of not giving a fuck, and he was like, I shouldn't do this anymore.
Okay.
And then he came out and he just blitzed this movie. Gene
Yeah,
Hackman.
yeah.
Yeah, he just blitzed the shit out of that movie. I think the Royal Tenenbaums.
Well, I thought he retired.
Oh yeah, he's retired.
And then he
He's-
came out of retirement like every now and then for that. And then he did that one with Clint Eastwood, the Western.
Unforgiven.
I think it might have been Unforgiven.
Unforgiven's good as well. Have you seen that movie?
No.
Oh, great movie. Morgan Freeman, Gene Hackman, and Clint Eastwood. Can't go wrong with that.
There's
cast.
another one. It's like Ed Harris or something. Who's the guy who plays like the sheriff?
That's Gene Hackman's the sheriff.
That's true. It is, yeah.
Gene Hackman's the sheriff, and like the bad sheriff.
The bad sheriff.
Well, is he bad? I mean, I guess it's all perspective.
Well, you know, this is the thing. It's about their moral codes. It's slightly.
Morgan Freeman says he'll never kill. No, Clint Eastwood says he won't ever kill again.
Never kill again.
And then he just goes and absolutely fucking demolishes.
Kills again.
Oh my
Spoiler
god,
alert.
he does. He kill again. There's a.
Does he kill again? Does he?
My
What?
favorite part is he kills someone and they stumble backwards into a coffin that's just been like lying on the.
He says, "Cool off."
Of course.
Like it looks like a warm coffin, Clint. I don't know why he's saying "cool off."
So cool. Clint Eastwood's so cool.
I've seen the French Connection a long time ago, and I
Yeah.
remember enjoying it.
What's the movie with Al Pacino where
Scarface.
Dog Day Afternoon.
Nah,
Serpico.
I like to look at me in my eyes when I'm getting fucked in the ass. What's the movie where he's like the CIA training boss? It might be. It's not Training Day, surely. And
Oh,
and they're
with
like,
Colin Farrell as the other guy.
and they're like steal him, and then
You know what?
that's a good movie.
It is, except there's a scene in that where you can hear the director yell "cut."
Really?
Yeah.
I love
They're
that
having
type
a
of
meeting
things.
somewhere. I remember I was like, "What the fuck?" And it was on DVD.
Really?
And I
Is it a
rewound it
modern,
'cause you can do
modern
that.
movie?
It's like,
it's like
90s,
early
early
2000s.
2000s,
Yeah.
somewhere around there. It's a pretty
And,
good movie. I think it's a pretty good movie.
Him
I
and
was-
Colin Farrell have a meeting, and he's like, "All right, blah 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 blah." And Colin Farrell's like, "No worries." And then they walk apart. And he goes, "Cut!" No one caught that. Was everyone editing this movie with headphones off?
It's like the concept of that movie is like he's CIA or maybe FBI, and they're doing like
find
they're like training the recruits.
Okay.
And there's I remember it because I think about it every time when you were talking about going on that show Hunted or whatever,
Yeah.
which is coming now. It's all over the advertising.
posters for that.
They're
It
like,
is the recruit.
It is the recruit. They're like, all right, they tell everyone they can go out for drinks or something, and then all of a sudden they like all get a message that like hide, and if you're found or whatever, and they capture people and they like torture them as part of the fucking training. It's wild, and I always thought that would be frightening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're like asking you for secrets that he just genuinely doesn't have the answer to because it's all a simulation, but he doesn't know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really good. You know it.
I don't want to get tortured.
No.
Ever.
I imagine I would crack.
Yeah, pretty quick.
I think I don't even think you would have to touch me. Depending on what it's about.
I would probably give up you guys no matter, like, within minutes.
Do you think you'd give us up?
Yeah. I mean, I think
touch. They get out the plug. Like, all right, they're over there.
Yeah. Oh my God, please.
I feel like we could do I was watching a Exorcist documentary.
Yeah.
Like, it was only like a 40-minute little thing
going
on
on there?
YouTube.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We've got what we need off that one.
We've got what we need.
And there was a lot of references to the French Connection. Let me think about it, because the director of the French Connection directed The Exorcist, but got the job, and then the French Connection won a bunch of awards, and was like, "Oh, let's follow this guy." Anyways, I feel like we could do an entire podcast just talking about the production of The Exorcist, because so many fucking things went wrong. And
Really?
it was cool. Yeah.
I don't know anything
I'd
about
like to
that.
just go down the list of like all
Go
the
down your
things that
top-
happened.
top
Not
three off the
right
top of your
now.
head.
I'd have to go and fucking write them down.
The main one that's interesting is it was supposed to be a rom-com, but then Linda Blair got possessed.
They got the tone so wrong.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's sometimes you get these happy accidents when you're making art.
Yeah.
And they're like, you know what? Let's not worry about the romantic subplot between the director and the mum. Let's just
Between
follow
the
this-
director and the mum.
Yeah. Let's just follow around the this girl and see what happens.
I hated that the priest was Greek
Why?
because
Oh, 'cause
because
they're
he would be
hearing-
like yeah, and
Yeah,
she'd be
yeah.
like what would she say? What's his name? She calls him
He was an unknown, by the way, the priest.
yeah.
Like, that was his first acting.
But like he like she calls him Dimitri, I think his name is, and that's weird because it's a name that is in my family very commonly. So I hear people saying that, and then she's like Dimitri.
Oh yeah, and goes
So
into
I'm
the
like,
fucking, and you can understand what she's saying when it's not subtitled.
yeah, it was really
right?
gross.
Like, she was saying, I remember we were watching it, and she was saying like, "I'm gonna rip your fucking balls off and shove them down your throat." I was like, "That's crazy."
To be fair, most of that movie I can understand without subtitles as well.
No, I meant when. Shut up. When
Also,
she
what's
said,
up the Egypt thing at the start?
That's cool. I love that.
Yeah, it's cool, but like it never comes back.
I think that they
does.
could have made that.
That's how he knows.
that figurine scarier.
They could have made the film.
And the sun's behind it. It's just like this little fucking shit thing. That like, Mom, look what I made at Kinder.
Yeah.
Oh, Satan, that's going straight on the fridge.
Because that's not like in her room or something. Like it's in
no, but
Egypt.
the guy that comes later on to help out, wasn't he there? And he knew what the spirit was
It's like
based on what he saw?
foreshadowing. I like it that it's not like, wait,
Maxwell
when this
sit
gets
down.
dug up 3,000 years from now, the devil will go to
Yeah, it's
New
just like he
England
just sees
somewhere.
it
It's just
and
like,
then-
this doesn't feel right, and I'm connected to the Lord. I'm just getting bad vibes.
One of the priests was a real priest as well. Not the main priest, not the guy that helps later on, but the other priest is a real priest. Something like that.
Other priest.
There's just another
They brought
priest.
him in as
Three
like a
priests?
consultant.
There's
Yeah,
three
yeah.
Like when they
priests?
get Navy SEALs to come in and stuff. He's
Yeah.
like, we would kiss the crucifix like this, not like that.
Yeah.
If they see you kissing like that, they're going to know this is fake.
The third priest?
I think there's a third priest.
I remember von Sydow.
Like early on, there's two priests that are in the start, and then the other guy joins the guy who was in Egypt at the start.
I remember James Woods and I remember Max von Sydow.
Yeah.
That's it.
James Woods isn't in this one.
I know.
Okay, good. I was making sure you didn't.
Come on.
Yeah, a lot of deaths happened as well. Just a crazy amount of deaths were happening.
It's like when you hear about the Wizard of Oz as well.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the guy in the lion that was real lion pelt, and he would like sweat and throw up because they couldn't get off. He couldn't get off. He couldn't get it out. He couldn't.
Guys, if I don't jizz, I'm going to vomit right now.
Oh my god. Yeah, he couldn't
Yeah.
get out of it. And the guy that they had to recast the Tin Man because he was poisoned by the makeup they used.
Yeah.
That's wild. That's really wild.
I remember the director said something like, and it's probably the exact same for Wizard of Oz. It's like, yeah, this shift doesn't happen on movies because most movies wrap in 2 months. But if you work on this movie for 8 months like we did, of course, some people are going to fucking die.
So
And I was like,
they
that's-
just died.
Sounds like an excuse.
Some
to
people
me.
like family members were dying, and like people on production were dying, and then like
I guess 8
some people that weren't
months-
even related to it. I feel like they were just drawing connections. Like, oh, and then
Oh, they were just scared because
Yeah.
they were making. That's also.
also the entire set burnt down, and they had to build a new one like halfway through production because someone did something wrong, and that just cost them another however many $1 million.
Well, good news is it was slightly successful.
Yeah,
Marginally.
They made their money back.
What was it?
The Exorcist.
Oh yeah.
And the thing about cooling the room.
Busy watching Cars.
Classic.
The thing about cooling the room, so it looks when they were breathing cold air, it really looked like shit
Made
was
her eat
coming
dry
out.
ice.
No, they didn't do that.
Okay.
But they had to do it like it would only last for like 2 minutes, and then they had to re-cool it down, and they just had to sit around cold waiting. Big time.
That's a really good movie.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
It's quite a good movie, and it's not as scary as I imagined.
You know who's quite fond of The Exorcist as a film?
Who? Really, Ben?
I do think it's good. Yeah, sorry.
Sky
And when I said before that I hadn't seen it because I kept watching Cars, I can watch both.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Do you think it's possible to watch a frame of each movie and understand what's going on?
One frame.
A frame on the same screen.
Yeah, there's like 30 a second.
Right, so that's probably impossible. 30 at a time.
20. There's 24 a second in a motion picture.
Right, so if you go
So you
24
get
of the
12.
Matrix, 24 of the Exorcist, 24 of the Matrix, 24 of the Exorcist, 24 of the Matrix.
So that's
24 of the Exorcist.
1 second.
Oh, I see.
Do you know, I'm trying to see, could you put two movies on at the same time?
Do you mean alternating frames or you mean alternating seconds of footage?
Alternating seconds of footage. No, seconds of footage wouldn't work. Frames. I don't think either of them would work.
Frames would be weird because I feel like in my mind I'm thinking, okay,
Depends,
I
you'd
could
have
watch one of them and block out the other one, and then I could switch like the gold dress, blue dress thing.
Yeah.
where you look at it differently and you can kind of watch one and watch the other. But also, I don't know how to replicate that. No.
Replicate
I'm
that in the
unsure if
lab
that's
setting.
possible. What happens when you blink out of time? Would you have to be blinking correctly?
You can't blink a frame.
Well, technically, I could blink a frame. I just couldn't do it on purpose.
I don't think you can blink quick enough to do a frame.
Go on. I reckon you can.
I could blink and not see a frame.
Go. You got to blink 24 times in a second.
You might miss like 6 frames because they go pretty bloody quick.
I could blink 24 times in a second, I reckon.
And that's if it is 24 and not like a 60 frames a second
24
movie.
in a second's quite fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like
That's why they look like they're moving.
Yeah. It's actually an illusion. They're not moving and they're not really there, Aidan.
It is weird that birds see at a lower frame rate or something, right? What do we see frame rates at? We don't see frame rates because
You can't really notice higher than 60.
But we're seeing real life. It's not like we're all just dig.
This is true.
This is just real life.
But you do perceive things and like, because you know when you look at a clock and it seems like that second hand hasn't moved in like a second and a half and then it goes.
Yeah.
It's your brain catching up.
Yeah, we're like 15 seconds behind ourselves.
you know when you watch
15 seconds?
That's what I heard on a podcast recently. 15
That can't be right. A 15th of a second?
I think.
15 seconds
Can you imagine
behind.
driving a car like that? You'd just
But
be
you
like, why
wouldn't
am I in a
know
lake
because
now?
everyone's 15 seconds behind.
This seems like some fucking stupid Aidan Christensen movie or something.
No. Everyone's 15 seconds behind because everyone has the same brain, same eyes.
But
All
then
of
the-
our brains work the same.
But then the world, so we're seeing the world 15 seconds in delay.
Yeah, but
the
we're
world is
all
still-
seeing it 15 seconds in delay, which means we're seeing it when we see it.
But seeing and moving is different. Like he's saying, like if a bird comes at me, Google it.
That's why birds take off later at a car. What would I search for this?
How delayed is the brain, the eyes?
How delayed do we see?
I can't.
How delayed do we see?
Ben,
The further out we look, the further back in time we see. That doesn't make sense. That's not what I'm asking.
It's like if you're looking at a star.
Are our eyes delayed?
It's actually the light from a million years ago
Yeah, I know that.
and 15 seconds ago by the time you comprehend.
Yeah. New research done by scientists at the University of Aberdeen and the University of California, Berkeley, reveals that human vision is up to 15 seconds behind real time, and we function on a previously unknown visual illusion. Essentially, this delay could be the reason our vision doesn't make us dizzy or nauseated.
new research.
From
Doesn't make sense.
Feb 2022. I could open it more. Instead of analyzing every single visual snapshot, we perceive in a given moment on average of what we saw in the past 15 seconds. So by pulling together objects to appear more similar to each other, our brain tricks us into perceiving a stable environment. Living in the past can explain why we do not notice subtle changes that occur over time. Also,
Yeah.
I can't even quantify that. I can't.
could make sense why we would think of deja vu.
Okay.
Because what if
We've processed it before we've seen it.
we've processed it before we've seen it, and you're like, wait a second, I knew you were gonna say
It's your
that
brain catching up.
It's fucking weird.
because I knew that we don't see everything, we can't see everything.
Fuck it.
So we see like what we see, and then it's like, oh, that's right, that's what we saw, and we have to tell ourselves what we saw in real time, but we can't work that fast.
I'm so confused. I'm gonna shit my pants.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to like just visualize it or like make it into a thought, and it's just crumbling in my hands.
It's crumbling.
Yeah. The Thing or The Exorcist?
The Thing or The Exorcist? Oh, fuck, that is tough. I think The Exorcist.
Okay, all right.
I've never seen The Thing.
I think I'd rather watch The Thing.
Bro.
I think The Thing has some good like.
We gotta add that one.
There's
to
just
the
a lot
list.
more going on.
Well, let's watch The Thing one day because I still don't. I don't even know what happens.
It's a good movie.
Yeah,
That's the best.
I
way
know
to
the
go.
guy
It's
with
so
the
good.
fibs.
I like that you don't know the plot because I didn't know it either when I watched it, and
I know there's a thing.
I know I've said this before, but Ben put it on when I was like in his house. He was like, I'm watching The Thing, and he put it on because you were going to watch it anyway. I didn't come in, and he was just like, oh fuck, Matt's here. I'm putting on The Thing, maybe. And I was sort of watching
way, you
it,
gotta
standing
watch it.
behind the couch like this, watching it. And then like over 6 minutes, just slowly moved to the couch, and then was eventually laying down, and then just watched the entire thing. And I was like, that was great. Really like that, Ben. Is there a thing too?
Is there?
They remade it in like 2016. And
Oh,
it's
that's
classic
right, just-
Alien versus Predator bullshit.
Oh,
It's
it's
just
not
gross. Nah.
And that was already a remake, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's good.
Is it Stanley Kubrick?
No. Carpenter.
Oh, it is. It is.
That's
John
the best one.
Carpenter.
Yeah, and it's who's the main guy?
Kurt Russell.
Kurt
Russell Quaid.
Who's just.
Russell. Dennis Quaid.
I've always wanted to.
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell.
I want to pitch this to you guys because
Please.
I've always thought about like it'd be fun to do stand up, and I always wanted to do stand up.
You should go to an open mic night.
I want to give it a go, but I can never think of material. And then the other day, I think I thought of a bit.
Holding Tom Segura's book.
Oh, yes,
This
a
might
real
be
comedian.
one of Tom Segura's bits.
I think I finally thought of a bit that I can maybe work into a stand-up bit.
Okay.
But I think the premise is funny, but I can't find the. We won't work it out now, but I wanted to know if you guys thought this was funny.
We might.
Because I was reading Tom Segura's.
I'd like to be alone, please.
book.
I didn't even know he made a book.
He's been going on about it in the podcast.
I don't listen to that
He
podcast.
didn't make it. He just wrote the words that are in it.
And I remember I was talking to you about like how do this cover's shit, and you're like, yeah, you take it off.
Yeah, it's a dust cover, mate.
I think I've got a bit about how people who don't read books, you know that people who don't read books when they're reading books, because
You can tell someone that doesn't
you can
read
tell
often.
someone who doesn't read a book because I'll be reading like this,
Do you know if I read or not?
and I don't know how to read with one hand, and then I get to the other page, and I'm like, yeah, everybody knows I don't know what I'm doing.
Do you know if I read a lot or not?
Yes.
You know the answer is what?
Do I know if you read a lot?
Yeah.
No, I don't think you read a lot.
But okay.
Do you know the truth, or are you taking a guess?
Yeah, that's
I'm
what I'm saying. Do
taking
you know
a
the
guess.
truth? Do you
Taking
know
a
the
guess,
truth?
I know the truth.
What's the truth?
The truth is you don't read a lot, but you're going to tell me you do.
Okay, give me the book, and I want to see if you can tell if I read a lot or not.
Do you take the dust cover off?
No, but Matt was talking about how it was weird and he wasn't a big fan of it, and I said
Yeah,
you
okay.
can take it off.
Yeah, it's not glued.
There's nothing there. And also, you were like, oh, people know that I'm reading like it's not a real book or something. And I was like, just take it off. Nobody will know what you're reading.
No, I added that as a thought on the end, where I was like, oh, and then people don't know I'm reading Tom Segura's
Okay,
book. They
I'm
think I
not-
might be reading
Some classic.
some fucking literature.
It's lighter than I thought.
He's a comedian.
No, but it's like a hardcover, so I thought. Anyway, all right. Should I have microphone in front of me or not? What am I recreating? How I would use?
Just read the book.
No, you're not going to. Are we going to hear your lips moving? If
No, I'm not going to read the book out loud.
That's
well,
how
then
people
move
know.
the mic then.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you don't look like someone who reads.
You don't think so?
The cross leg, I'm not buying the cross leg. You don't look comfortable.
Okay.
You look like you're trying to look comfortable.
Okay. I'll sit a different way.
Well, it's up to you. This is you looking.
I have several ways I could read a book, or do I?
Do you just do your this is
See, I know. See, I don't think you read a book because you're doing the thing that I do, where I don't think my hands are meant to go up here to hold the
You
page.
don't think your hand's supposed
And
to
I
go up
saw
here?
you start there, and then you went like this, and then you went like this.
But I don't want to stand like this.
So neither do I, but that's what people do.
But that's just
It's
how
uncomfortable.
It's
I'm sitting there looking like I'm like, and people are just doing it with one hand, and I'm like, what do you do when you got to go the other side and you got to twist it? and like reading it in bed, what a fucking nightmare.
Really?
Yeah.
It is a large book. It's child-sized to
It's
me.
the same. It's exactly when they gave us the scripts for the show that we're doing, and I was like, can I have one of the the proper scripts because I'm not printing these fucking big books. I can't do shit with this.
Yeah, I don't want this. This is too big. Also, I don't want a hardcover.
no. I won't read something until it goes to paperback.
Yeah. I like to if I'm doing paperback, because I do read, but not unbelievably a lot. But I do read. Like I would read like 3 books, maybe 4 books a year, which is not a lot.
Unbelievably a lot.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm reading right now. I read so much you would not.
No, but
believe.
like my sister reads 15 books a year.
Yeah.
Which I feel is a lot of books.
Which one?
My younger sister.
Wouldn't have guessed that.
Really?
I would have guessed the older one.
No, wrong. Incorrect.
Is she like? She's smart.
Yeah, they are.
What the
They're
fuck?
both smart, which is really upsetting.
Go fuck
I'm
yourself.
the dumbest of the family.
Which is funny because I'm the smartest of the family. Think
Really?
about that for a second.
I'm the most educated of the family, and yet the dumbest. Pretty upsetting.
Hurts.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you?
But you've got more perseverance.
You know what they say? Those who
I thought you were
can't,
going to say personality.
Stopped getting educated.
those who can't do Greek. Sounds stupid.
I heard that joke
And you're the
15
smartest, did you
seconds ago.
say?
I didn't laugh either.
I tried to say the joke 15 seconds ago and got interrupted. And I know that people are going to hear that in the edit. They're going to hear me go. They're going to hear me
Cut.
go. Those who can't do. Those who can't do Greek.
Definitely worth going back for, though.
worth it?
Oh, I thought it might land. It didn't. It didn't.
Weird. That's so weird.
Anyways. So yeah, I'd like to do stand up, and I think there's a bit in there, and I can't quite.
So the bit about you don't know how to read.
Yeah, and I feel like people.
Do you
would
guys
get-
want to guess if I read?
Yeah.
What's the book?
Use the script next to you.
No, that's paperback. That's cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah,
anyway, you
because
can
you
fold
can
it over and
fold
just
it,
like-
right? That's how I would go about a paperback.
I'm just going to pretend I've been reading it for a while. Go to the middle.
Okay. Yeah.
You don't need a bookmark because you can use the dust cover.
It's not a bookmark. It's a gift card.
Do you do that? You know that one?
That's it. Oh my God, he really does
Not a
read.
bookmark.
Do you know where you were?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I know he reads.
Oh, Tom.
How many books? How many books do you read a year, Ben?
Give me the fucking book.
Huh?
How many books do you read a year,
Out loud? It depends. I've gone through years where...
This year, how many books you read?
This year's been a bit fucking skint.
It's Skin.
Only maybe 2.
What were they? Not to put you on the spot, Ben, but just because I'm always looking for books.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you this much. Non-fiction.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've done no fiction this year.
What were you reading? Biogs.
Yeah, there was a couple of biogs.
I like to read a script.
I like script reading.
I like to read a script just in my spare time, which some people think is odd. I don't imagine either of you would think that's odd. but
No, I
some
read
people do.
Inheritance. That's one of the few books I read, and I only read it because it was a script.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know why, because it's the same thing, right? It's just a story. But I feel like a script is a little tighter, a little quicker, a little...
Yeah, you
Yeah,
really
there's
get
not as
through
much
it.
flowery shit in there.
Yeah. Also, there's more explicit stage directions. I know what's happening. I know where they... I mean, of course I know where they are, but the floweriness, I think.
It's like a book on
Interior,
tape, or like
kitchen.
a what's the equivalent? What's a book on tape called now?
An audiobook.
An audiobook. Fucking hell. It's like an audiobook. It's just a different way to consume a story that's a little less, you know.
Audiobooks I can't deal with because I fall asleep and I don't know where I am.
Yeah.
Also, I've never really tried.
I've never tried an audiobook, and I think I would do a lot better
Do you
reading
think so?
audiobooks. Yeah.
I just don't know how to hold them.
I think I'm going to read The Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Big task. I'm not going to read the Silmarillion or anything for ridiculous, just The Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Not The Hobbit.
The Lord of the Rings.
We have to get a review from you.
You went The Lord of the Rings.
Did I? It's just The Lord of the Rings. So, is Lord of the Rings 3 books or is it 1? 3 movies, 1 book.
I'm not sure. I think it's just one book.
Right. I know there's a lot of things about a man called Tom Bombadil. He's not in the movies. What we'll do is I'll read it.
Honestly, Tom Bombadil sounds like one of your friends. You know, when you tell me about the friends, like your friends from school.
Yeah.
Second you said Tom Bombadil, I was like, were you guys playing Valorant the other day? I can't remember. No.
God, Valent's
So Tom Bombadil.
Yeah, each week come in and give us a where you're up to and what's happened.
Okay. I got to buy the book first.
Okay.
Where do you reckon it sells them?
Dimmicks.
You reckon they have Lord of the Rings?
I'm sure they do. It's
course
a classic. They've got to have classics.
What about QBE? Borders doesn't exist anymore, does it? Or has it had a resurgence?
Nah, Bezos probably bought it and burned them all down.
Fucking Bezos. I don't know why I looked at you straight away when I said Bezos.
You know he's a huge Bezos fan.
Oh, you are. You like Bezos way more than I...
I was like, what? Do I?
Oh, goodness me.
You know what my hairdresser said the other day?
What did they say?
This is just a sidebar.
You know, my hairdresser said the other day, I go in there.
She said,
They're cutting away. They're putting a bit of product in afterwards. We're just chatting. And she comes out with this. Have a listen. Go.
Oh, it's me.
That set you up.
She said something about Elon Musk on Twitter, and she was just fucking going.
Your
on
hairdresser is a lady now.
about, yeah.
You've moved.
I moved. They're weird though. I don't think I'm gonna. I don't know if I'm.
Where
gonna.
did you move?
No, I did. I used to go there, and then I went to the one. And by the way, I brought up them, and I said I went there for a hairdresser, and I wasn't happy with it. He goes, "Oh yeah, I bet they're all Asian down there." And I was like, "Whoa,
whoa!" What
and
a
by the way,
strange thing.
20
to go
seconds
straight
before
off.
that, she was telling me about the male barber around the corner, and she goes, "People don't like to go there because of the Iranian guy." And I was like, "Do people tell you that, or are you saying?"
Yeah, I
this to
think
me now?
something about this lady tells me she's a racist.
People don't like to go there, and I don't like the Iranian guy.
She was like, our store got flooded, and so I went around the corner to his place. I'm like, can we use a corner of your hairdresser? We have different, because they're just a male one. They don't serve women. And he was like, and we can, we won't take any of your clients, obviously, and we'll just have someone. And he was like, yes, of course. And all she did was complain about him.
Was that the Iranian guy?
She said I was cutting hair, and he was just, he's so rude, and he was just so loud, and blah blah blah. And I was
Fuck
like,
off! It's his shop.
you're using his shop. And he's like, he went for like lunch in the middle of a haircut, and I was like, no, he didn't. Stop lying.
Yeah, like he clearly did not
And
go
he
in the
came
middle
back,
of a haircut.
and I think I saw him spit in a guy's hair when he finished cutting it.
She said, I said to the guy, he said, does he always do that? And the
Did
guy
you
was
just
like,
sit there
the guy,
quietly?
when I got the haircut. Yeah.
Yeah, she
You
was
never know.
just
I
telling-
never know what to say with
Like
fucking
you were just listening to all of this garbage drivel, and you just didn't say anything.
hairdressers are fucking weird like that. Beck had a hairdresser the other day, and she was carrying on about like, oh, we're getting a pool, and the guy who's building the pool he's so fucking lazy and blah blah blah, and just
Because nobody has any idea what it takes to do anything ever. If it's not something you do, a lot of people don't understand how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're getting a pool built, and I know this because a friend of mine got a pool built and was annoyed because they were saying it's lazy. But it's like the ground they were building it in was super wet, so they had to wait for the mud to actually be able to be built, like to dig. Otherwise, they'd ruin their backyard. Then they had to wait for it to dry. Then they had to pour the cement. And it's like, they like come and tell you, this is going to be like a week-long process, even 2 weeks long process. They're like, God, I can't, it's absolutely ridiculous. It takes so long.
Everybody has these conversations, but hairdressers, you're trapped, so you can't walk away.
I don't care
so
about a
they
hairdresser's
get
life.
stuck in your head a lot more.
I don't care about hairdressers. Not the life of a hairdresser, like they can live. I don't care about their life. You know what I mean?
The day to day.
I couldn't give two fucks. And I know you don't care. My hairdresser keeps talking to me about the annoying roommate he has that doesn't pay for rent. So I don't care.
And you're one of like, 6, 8 haircuts they're doing? Are
Yeah.
they telling everyone the same story?
Yeah, like why is it me that gets the rent story?
Do you reckon it's like stand up? Like if you get a haircut early in the day, the story's pretty loose and shit, and they're
Yeah.
forgetting details, and you're like, oh, by the way, sorry, I forgot to tell you, he's Cameron's
Yeah.
friend. He was there at the start.
And now it's tight.
And then at the end, it's like, so Cameron's friend comes over, and they go through the whole thing, and then there's a punchline. And
Maybe.
Just tightening it up for their
I
therapist.
do know that my hairdresser forgot to cut the back of my head. The entire back of my hair was the same length when I left. And I was like, this doesn't feel
You didn't
right.
want a mohawk?
a mullet.
sick.
A mullet, that's
The hot
sick.
dog's haircut.
It was. I really had a mullet for a while, and then I was like, "This isn't right." And I called back. I was like, "You forgot to cut the back of my hair," and he was like, "Oh,
Yeah, I was busy
I
talking.
have a booking
Sorry.
on Thursday."
My roommate.
And I was like, up. You don't have a booking. I'm not waiting till Thursday. This was like on the Monday. I'm not waiting till Thursday, mate. You forgot to cut my hair. I didn't go back.
Is this the one?
Yeah, I've still got long hair on the back now.
Oh,
It's longer. Like it's like there's like a flick.
I see it too.
It's much longer. You see that, Ben?
Can we get it without the hat? I want to see if there is a mullet look.
It's like my hair is not short, right? But it is much longer.
Yeah. You look like Theo Von.
He really did forget
Yeah,
to
he
cut the
fucking
back.
forgot it. And I just left it. Look at this fucking flick.
Hey, but at least you look like a piece of shit.
Thanks, man.
You know, you look like you don't want to go to that hairdresser because of the Iranian guy.
I am the Iranian guy, which is the problem.
You look like a guy who took a couple of MMA classes, and then was like, "Yeah, I got the shirt and the lifestyle. That's enough."
When do
Just
we
gonna let the thing grow out a little bit.
When do we start sparring?
You know, I ever tell you when I did karate, there was a guy that walked in and asked my sensei, you the guy here that could teach me how to kill someone? Just straight off the bat. And he was like, get out of here. Leave right now.
There's a YouTube channel. I didn't know this was a thing, but apparently people, for anything, boxing, karate, whatever, people will go in and just challenge.
Oh yeah, Dojo Storm.
Yeah.
Fucking love
I
those.
say, I want to fight who's in charge here. And then there's a YouTube channel dedicated to them people.
Really?
Yeah. And you know what? Funny enough, sometimes they win.
Yeah, I mean, of course, sometimes
Which is
they
a
win
shame,
because if you come after a class, these people are exhausted.
Yeah.
I used to walk home from karate, and they told us either change or take your belt off. But my gi had stains, like sweat stains of brown, and then
Gi stains?
black. Yeah, it was bad. It was very funny. So I had to change. But people used to, because there was a Muay Thai group around the corner, they used to like to beat us up as we left. It's real sad.
You put your stuff in the bag and sprint past the
Yeah,
Muay Thai place.
no, because they were further away from. Like, I guess some people may have walked up because they were further closer to where like the GMat is on that road. You know where that? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'll be honest.
You wasn't
haven't been
listening.
I faded out just then.
You can see it in his eyes.
Yeah, I'm very tired. But no, I was because when you said Muay Thai, I thought genuinely this is the thought process.
Pad Thai.
I went, that's a funny word, Muay Thai. Muay Thai.
Really?
Sounds like my Thai. Like I'm gonna my Thai. Muay Thai.
Wow, really seeing
What
how
if
the
there's-
sausage gets made.
Are there any other funny words like Muay Thai? Where does Muay Thai come from? Muay Thai. Muay Thai. That's all I was doing in my head.
I've never done that ever in my life.
Yeah. I'm a
I've
fucking crazy
never done
person.
that ever in my life. No, because that happens on cartoons and things.
It's the exact reason why I can't text and listen to people. Because if there's something else happening in my head, the whole world has to shut down.
But it's like not even the world shut down. I've zoned out and had a thought, but it's never been like Muay Thai. That's funny. You know what I mean? Like I've never done that before.
But that's because you. I can't. That it. I'll bleep that out. I promise.
Promise.
Hey, it's GMat here, and don't forget, if you enjoyed that episode of the GMat podcast and you want to hear more, we also have the podcast post show over at patreon.com/the GMat podcast. The post show is a shorter episode recorded directly after the main podcast where we wrap things up and talk about anything we didn't have time to talk about. $3 a month and cancel anytime. We are a community-supported podcast, so your support over there funds the show and makes it easier for us to keep doing what we love. If you want to support us, head over to patreon.com/the GMat podcast.